So this group, probably the most unknown, I'd say. The most we don't know we're going to get out of it. It could be really good. It could be really bad. Or, I'm thinking somewhere in the middle is more likely. But we're all over the place here with receivers. So we have two significant losses. You have Parker Washington, a 3-year starter. And I went back and started watching some games from last year. And this guy made a lot more clutch plays than I think people remember. He was always kind of, even for Sean Clifford, a 6th-year guy, he needed a safety net on those third down plays. And more times than not, it was Parker Washington. Then we have Mitchell Tinsley, the transfer from Western Kentucky from last year. Really good season, actually, when all was said and done. 51 grabs for 577 yards and 5 touchdowns. Really good after Parker Washington got hurt at the end of the year, too. Key returners, Keandre Lambert-Smith, 24 for 389 and 4 touchdowns. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought he had more yards than that. Just considering he had, I think, over 100 in the Rose Bowl alone.
I was going to say, I thought he had about that many in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah. These numbers are actually a little shocking to me that they were that low. And then Harrison Wallace, 19 for 273 and 1. A guy where there's a lot of tools. You just haven't seen it all put together yet. And then the key newcomers, the big one is Dante Cephas, the 4-star transfer from Kent State. And then kind of a guy you're a little more, you don't know what you're going to get yet, Malik McClain, 3-star transfer from Florida State, a 4-star recruit out of high school, a guy, a lot of tools like Harrison Wallace just hasn't totally put together yet. So that's kind of where we're at here. A lot of guys that could be good but haven't really shown it yet.
McClain's one of those guys, though, that if he puts it all together, that first 3 weeks, everyone can just be like, oh, wow. You could see him going off and having a big year and being that go-to guy in the red zone, or having that little niche in the offense of where he's your go-to guy for some particular thing.
The most important transfer on the team is Dante Cephas, right? I think. I mean, that having him, like, he effectively steps in as the number 1 guy straight away. And a lot will depend, success will depend or not on how well he and Drew Aller develop chemistry and how good he actually is. Like, he was excellent at Kent State, but how good was he, or how good can he be here in a Power 5 school, a Power 5 conference? It's going to be very telling, and I hope all the best for him. But at the same time, like, Keandre Lambert-Smith is my favorite player on the team. I think he's more dynamic and electric than he gets credit for, because he doesn't get a lot of balls, and you saw what he can do in the Rose Bowl. Can he be a nearly the same version of KJ Hamler that he was in, like, 2019?
Yeah.
This is another one of those players that you could see have that, like, senior jump that everyone talks about. Is when you're a senior, you take it to another level. I think now he kind of knows this is his time to be the number 1 if he wants to seize it, and he could take that jump and be that guy.
Yeah, he is the guy I think can take this offense to the next level. Sorry, someone's texting me something distracted me, but he's the guy I think can take it to the next level because he has that downfield threat. I think Cephas can kind of take that Tinsley Washington role of the safety net receiver, kind of the underneath possession guy, although he's very physical. I mean, some of the highlights of, defensive backs bouncing off of him and stuff at the point of contact is impressive. So a little more of an underneath guy. I think Lambert-Smith is the guy you want on the deep ball most of the time. So we look at the depth chart here. I think this is going to be all over the place. This is kind of just based off of little discussion we've had, plus kind of looking at what ourlads.com had set up. So at the X, we have Cephas backed up by Omari Evans, the very interesting sophomore. Then we have Wallace at the Z backed up by McClain. And then if you're going to get the best 3 on the field, you probably have to put Lambert-Smith in the slot, backed up by Sean Clifford's younger brother, Liam, who at times last year flashed very good hands. I don't think he's going to blow anyone away by any means, but another quality possession guy that you honestly – you can't go wrong with. Him and Aller connected on a couple shots across the middle last year, I remember. So he showed some flashes there. So it's kind of what we're dealing with. Mari Evans, the deep ball guy, I saw some things, his route running can improve, but the speed is there where if Drew wants to let it fly, he might be the guy that's in the game. I remember last year, the couple times he came in, it was just a lock that they were going deep, and they connected on the one, and then I think they missed on the other two. But yeah, this is kind of the 6 we're looking at to start the year.
I will say we're going to be in 12 personnel a lot, and I think when that happens, Lambert will take the other outside spot, and it'll be Cephas and Lambert Smith on the field. I mean, obviously, Penn State rotates more than most teams in the country, and especially like those lower tier games. But even in our big games against Ohio State and Michigan, we'll rotate and get a ton of guys playing. But if we need that ideal, like this is our time to score lineup, and we're going 12 personnel, I think the 2 on the field is going to be Cephas and Lambert Smith, regardless of positions or whatnot.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I did leave out Caden Saunders. He's the one I'm interested in because I think he could be a slot guy too. He kind of has that Sean Clifford, KJ Hamler connection with Aller, where they were buddies in high school, played some camps together in high school, with throw the ball around on their own, and we saw how effective Clifford was with Hamler in 2019. I'm just wondering if that relationship with Aller alone could kind of get Saunders up this depth chart as fall camp goes on.
You need like 4 guys, right? Like because of how strong the tight end room is, and we'll talk about that later. You need 4 solid contributors here. So you expect Cephas, you expect KLS. Harris and Wallace did some things last year. So is there one more guy out of Malik McClain, Amari Evans, Liam Clifford, Caden Saunders, like who can step up? And they've got to be there. Like that group has all the talent in the world. They're all 4 stars, right? So Marquise Higgins is going to earn his money this year.
Yeah, the thing is, there's a lot of bodies at this position. I actually expected a few more guys to transfer out of here, honestly, and no one, at least to public knowledge today, have. So, yeah, you got Donald Driver's son buried down there somewhere. You have Malik Mega, the 6'4" guy who runs a 4.4, who flashed in 2021, and then we didn't see him at all last year, really, outside of special teams. You have Tyler Johnson.
I was gonna say
I'm on a lot of guys there. Yeah.
So listed redshirt freshmen on the depth chart are Tyler Johnson, Caden Saunders, Christian Driver, Carmelo Taylor, Anthony Ivy, and then you have 2 redshirt sophomores, another redshirt junior. Like there is a lot of people. There's a lot of bodies there, right? So there's 16 people or 4.
Yeah, there's 12 scholarship wide receivers on this team.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So I mean, can 4 or 5 out of 12 become serviceable is really what you're asking for here, I feel like.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting dynamic because if you would, most schools, if you said, okay, we have 10 scholarship receivers going into next year, they'd be like, okay, that's fine. No need to touch the portal. They had to go out and pretty much get 2 guys they think could start. And, that's a little bit of a concern, I'll say. I'll go as far to say concern, where with that many bodies, you still felt the need to get game changers or guys you think could be. So this is kind of this position. I am interested to see what happens. West Virginia has a really bad pass defense. And then they played Delaware. So you kind of got 2 weeks before you hit Big Ten play to figure out who's who here.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And you better do it pretty soon after that because Illinois and Iowa back-to-back are not going to be – they're not going to have bad pass defenses. So.
No.
You're going to see a lot of bodies played in those first couple games. So they're going to throw a lot of people out there, and it's going to be limited mistakes. One mistake, you're off the field, throw someone else out there. They're going to rep these guys to shit until they find someone that's going to stick in there and be a part of that group that they can count on.
Yeah.